is all that I am. I'm a bouquet from a single stem. All that you feel is all that you are. Every inch and every bar. All I can give is all that I am.
This is the 17th year of the Woodstock Film Festival. We had about 10 filmmakers. 2 of them were Margo Pelletier and Lisa Thomas. And it's a great movie. So you're in for a treat. I would like to bring Margo, the director, up here to say a few words, as well as Lisa, who's coming up.
I have to say, I thought I had seen the most beautiful thing today when I was driving around looking at the leaves, but this is the most beautiful thing I've seen today. It's so great to bring this film home. That's how I really feel about it. You know in the audience, and if you want to, I'd love it. Can everybody that played any role in this film stand up, please? That is the wealth of talent in upstate New York, and people are finding out more and more about it, and that's great. So we want to thank the Woodstock Film Festival for this amazing celebration. Erica Price, all of you, this is great, and the Upstate Women in Film and Television branch, regional chapter, Amy, certainly our star, who's here tonight to entertain you after the film, so don't go away. There will be entertainment by our production designer, Lex Grey. One of our composers, Nikki Egan, who wrote the theme song, is going to perform with Thirsty Burlington. The Q&A is going to be amazing. Please stick around, that's going to happen, and then we're going to party on.
This film wouldn't exist without Margo's vision. It's clearly Margo's passion of the last couple years. She spent over a year in the edit. We edited the film in Brooklyn, and it certainly wouldn't exist without our star, Scott Townsend, Thirsty Burlington, who's here and going to come up and say, we need to thank Scott Belfort, who supported this film very early on. We got a lot of support from his company, BCDF Pictures. And I want to say, if you guys got ballots tonight, give us a good rating. We want that audience award.
Films like this need support. So I'm Hannah Safka. I'm president of Upstate Women in Film and Television. Margo has actually been a member of our organization since its founding, like 5 years ago. Lisa's a member, very proud of this screening tonight. If you're not aware, only 11% of films are directed by women. You are in for a rare treat. You're advocating for more of that to happen. And I want to let you know that we also screen at least quarterly one woman's film in the Hudson Valley. So please support women in film, and please support these filmmakers.
Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Everybody who's here, you'll please join us for the Q&A afterwards. I recognize so many people. This is so cool. So enjoy the film.
Enjoy the film. We're going to start it in. Thanks, everyone.
Laura Kelber, co-writer.
Matt Keogh, swing grip electric boom op and part-time caterer.
Lex Grey, production designer and androgynous cameo.
Lisa Thomas, producer. I think Andrea Cunliffe, you're out there. You did locations. Get on up here, Andrea. Cindy Catorti, if you want to come on up.
Margo Pelletier, director and co-writer.
Keith Leonard, Virgil Townsend, Scott's dad.
Michael DeGioia, I played Uncle Gene.
I don't know. Usually people are quite shy about asking the very first question, and I actually can't really see anybody. So.
Really amazing work. How long did it actually take to film? Because it seemed like there were so many scenes in so many locations.
I think the cast and crew probably hates me for this, but we shot the whole thing in 19 days. Right? Thirsty? Right?
Sometimes 2 and 3 locations a day. Let me just give you a little background. A lot of these locations were amazing locations, but they were much blank canvases where we had to go through time from the 70s through the 80s through the 90s. Let's just say no dumpster or yard sale was left unturned to prop this movie. Or garbage can on the side of the road, thank you.
I think that 19 days is actually quite typical, Sean, right? Sean? No, it's not. Sean hates me for it, so. Andrea and Thirsty, if you want to come this way, because I'm afraid to bring the mic to you.
Hi, thanks for coming. This might be the biggest crowd we've had yet. And we feel like we're home, we really do. We filmed a lot of it here. And I recognize all of you. Any question?
Do you think your mom would accept you now?
I think she accepted me then. I just think the topic wasn't up for conversation at that time in her life when she was at the end of her life. She didn't want to have to go into a big discussion about my sexuality. I mean, she knew. How could she not know? Trust me, I was skipping through the living room. I mean, she knew. But it was just something you didn't really talk about back then. I just got back from Provincetown yesterday and I did Women's Week. Sold out shows, it was great. And I'm doing a Christmas special in December. Where? Provincetown. My first ever. Cher will ruin every Christmas song.
I know you think you do other impersonations besides Cher. What other impersonations do you do and sing?
I've been known to do Michael Jackson, Celine Dion, Barbra Streisand, they just keep popping out. Judy Garland. When I drink a lot, I tend to turn into Judy Garland. It just happens. You might see that later. I started singing when I was 6 with my Uncle Gene, and then I was cutting hair in Harvard Square, Cambridge, and did that for 10 years, and then I got so busy impersonating Cher that I couldn't get up for a 9 o'clock perm appointment. So I had to just stick to nightclub performing, and now look at me.
Can you say something a little bit about the fantasy scenes in the film?
Well, I do want to say the gun range scene is absolutely factual because it was documented on video. So that actually did happen.
I'm a really good shot.
And his father really was a gun enthusiast, and it was what he wanted to impart to his son eventually.
Margo and I did the original script, much more following Scott's life, and we sent it out to readers initially, and it wasn't until we brought Laura Kelber in as one of the readers that it sort of got processed through like a blender and totally turned all around and mixed up both chronologically, but also a lot of fantasy elements and things like that came into play at that time, and it really sort of just like shocked us initially, and then we're like, yeah, this is really good. So all of that fantasy stuff with the little girl and a lot of that stuff was Laura's bringing to the table. You know, we auditioned a lot of individuals for the part of Virgil Townsend, and what was really interesting at the audition was that they kept sending us obviously middle-aged gay men, and we were like, Virgil's not gay. So yeah, I don't know why that kept happening to us, but all these actors that were out wanted to be in the movie. And I met Keith actually at a meet and greet upstate that Hudson Valley Film Commission put on. And we had like a drink together at the bar, and I was like, he looks like Gary Oldham. He could be Virgil Townsend. So I called you into the audition, and we just gave you the part.
I definitely think a lot of our actors really took a great deal of direction from the script, you know, the description and also the dialogue, and were able to get into it that way. I was so green as a director for a feature that instead of making a shot list, I drew out the storyboards. Since I'm not a storyboard artist, I'm a fine artist, they had a lot of mood and atmosphere. And I think in some ways, some of the direction came from visual things, fortunately. And I think a lot of the direction came from a script that had been worked on long enough to be effective and moving to our actors.
I think Hitchcock did, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hitchcock do the whole movie in storyboards? So, yeah, right? So you're not that green.
Margo's new nickname is the female Hitchcock, okay? So just, that's what you're going to call her for the rest of the night, the female Hitchcock.
Okay.
Female Hitchcock. There's a gentleman somewhere in the middle with glasses. Yes, you. Or I'm sorry, I think it's really, really dark.
Welcome to my world. There's parts in the film when you were a stumbling drunk.
Yes, I'm still a stumbling drunk. No, but I don't stumble as much. Well, the night is young. No, it's just, you know, in the past, you know, you make bad decisions and you know, you drink when you shouldn't, and I don't do that anymore. But I'm not working right now. I remembered everything, and I would share it with Margo and Lisa. I mean, we just got deeper and deeper into my life. At first, it was supposed to be this like fluff film, I believe, about just my relationship with being Cher Impersonator, and then they got like deep and deep into it. They're like, wow, this kid's really got some stuff going on. Stay in touch with childhood friends. Or, sadly, a lot of them are dead or in jail. I mean, I grew up in a really poor neighborhood, and sadly, not a lot of us got out.
Where's Patrick?
Patrick is at home with my cat. Patrick, we've been together 15 years. He's still my little meatball. He's probably why I'm not a stumbling drunk anymore. He's really tamed me down.
It was a little over 6 years ago that Lisa and I were in Provincetown off-season. Beautiful, very glowy boy man in a tight pair of jeans and a bomber's jacket said, "Girls, you have to come into this show. Come on in, come see this show." And we thought, oh God, what the hell? So we went in, we sat down, everybody got a drink. A beautiful, gleaming Cher figure, dancing, singing, and talking, just like Cher, came out on stage. And we went on the Thirsty Burlington ride, where you go through every emotion you have, tears, nostalgia, laughter, joy, and in my case, just utter joy, because there's nothing I like more than having gender stand on its head, because I believe it often does, and that's a wonderful thing. A beautiful, gleaming Cher figure, dancing, singing, and talking, just like Cher, came out on stage, and we went on the Thirsty Burlington ride, where you go through every emotion you have, tears, nostalgia, laughter, joy, and in my case, just utter joy, because there's nothing I like more than having gender stand on its head, because I believe it often does, and that's a wonderful thing.
And we just sort of, you know, kept calling and asking for the story, and like we would get these little tidbits, and kernels from Scott, but we would never get like the full picture. So we talked to a lot of other performers that were colleagues, ex-boyfriends, family members. We went back to the original tenements, met with one of your aunts who was still living there at the time, and sort of fleshed out everything. And then we'd go back to Scott and go, you know, what they really said about this one thing was a little bit more intense. And Scott would say, okay, fine. And he would let us put it in the script. So it was like really very rare to let somebody kind of let it all out there like that, to have somebody just give their life and everything about it to you. We felt very honored to do that.
You know, I never told anyone who it actually was that hurt me, because he said he would firebomb our house if I ever did. He threatened me about my mom, and so I had to keep it really quiet. But he ended up in prison. So, you know, it all comes back to karma is a bitch. He's in prison, and I'm in front of all of you, so look at that.